Hey, it's Tom from Texas, and it's time for another Floppy Deep Dive. And it's 99 degrees here today. You can probably see the ceiling fans running, AC's running. And what am I going to do? I'm going to play some games on my Commodore 64. I don't want to be outside in that heat. I need to mow. Am I going to mow? No. I'm going to play some games on my Commodore 64. And we're going to be doing another in the series of What's on That Floppy? And this is the floppy we're going to be looking at. There's a pirate game on here you probably never ever played. There's a game show on here that you probably never played, but you've seen it on TV many times. And so we're just going to be checking it out. I probably downloaded this in 86 or 87. Got it off BBS's, calling up 300 baud, 1200 baud, and let's let that modem run all night, downloading these game after game after game. And now we're looking at the collection. So if you're new here and that sounds interesting to you, and you like the nostalgia of Commodore 64 and all the games that it had, because it has a massive collection of software that came for the Commodore 64, then this channel's for you. So I'm gonna try something new this time around, guys. I'm gonna put this D64 file out for this floppy, both sides, front and back, out there on my website. What is my website? floppydeepdive.com. Just go to my website, go to the download section. You'll see the D64s out there. Just download those two files and you can play them in Vice. You can burn them over to your floppy and play them on your original computer, whatever you want to do. So if you see any of these games that intrigue you, now you have the option to go get it and check it out for yourself. Let the nostalgic start. Go ahead, pull up a chair, grab a joystick, and let's get started. Welcome back, Deep Divers. Today we have a special treat in store as we dive into the mesmerizing world of Space Harrier. But before we jump into the Commodore 64 version, let's take a nostalgic trip back to the classic arcade version that captivated us. Space Harrier, a true gem of the arcade era. The adrenaline rush of dodging enemies and blasting away at fantastical creatures was an unparalleled game experience. And little did we know that this arcade masterpiece would find its way onto our little Commodore 64. But here's the exciting part. The copy we're about to explore is the one I downloaded from a BBS back in the day. It's the PAL version, which I didn't know at the time when I downloaded it. And as we know, the PAL version played fast on the NTSC system, and it demanded you to even have lightning fast reflexes when you played. So it's a trip down memory lane to revisit this cherished floppy from my original collection. As we know, the Commodore 64 had its limitations, and some argue that it struggled to fully capture the grandeur of the original arcade version. However, let's acknowledge the dedication of Chris Butler, the talented developer who faced the challenge of bringing Space Harrier to the Commodore 64. And reviews from the era showed mixed opinions. Some praised the effort to put this into the conversion and then highlighting the basic gameplay and the remix music and the beloved SID sound. But others felt that it just fell short of their expectations. But personal nostalgia often influences our perception. And the Commodore 64 version of Space Harrier may not have matched the arcade counterparts' bells and whistles, but it still delivered an experience that kept us hooked. Now let's explore the differences between the PAL and the NTSC versions side by side. So I recently picked up Space Harrier. This is the US version, NTSC version. And on my floppy that I just played, that is actually the PAL version. So I'm going to show you these games side by side and see if you could pick out the differences between the two. Here's a comparison of the NTS version running on the NTS system and the PAL version running on the same NTS system. And take notes of the difference in the speed and the audio. And the NTS version even boasts an excellent title screen, which adds to the excitement of the game. When I got a lot of crack games, they always would take the title screen out, and I just hate that. So seeing some of these for the first time is just awesome. And it's fascinating to see and hear the contrasting characteristics of these versions. There you have it, Deep Divers. The Commodore 64 version of Space Harrier may not have been a flawless conversion, but it holds a special place in gaming history, and it represents the dedication of the developers who pushed the hardware's limits to bring us the best experience possible. So let's go ahead and continue on to the next game on this floppy. Hey everyone, I always do these deep dives, and if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me. Next, we're diving into the depths of retro gaming to uncover a hidden gem that may have slipped under the radar for many of you. It's time to set sail and embrace the pirate life with Piracy for the Commodore 64. And Piracy was released in 1985 by Ace Games, and it takes you back to the 17th century where you command either Black Pete, the fearsome pirate captain, or Captain Carlos of the Spanish Armada, and each ship is armed with 15 troops ready to engage in a pseudo board game adventure on the high seas. And the game board resembles a checkered-like grid, is connected by boarding net links between the galleons. Your mission is strategically maneuvering your troops, launching them onto the net, and progressing towards your opponent's ship. But beware, there are broken links that lead to instant death, plunging your troops into the treacherous sea. And what sets Piracy apart is its humorous touch it adds to the experience. As you progress, you'll witness the animated captains pacing across the plank in the cargo net. Your captain becomes more aggressive while your opponent shrinks away, reflecting the tide of the battle. And it's these little details that make the game so entertaining. And with sideway movement options and careful planning, you'll aim to eliminate all the opposition, leap onto their squares, or cross over into the enemy ship, triggering cannon bay detonations for a satisfying victory. And remember, when you conquer the enemy, prepare to watch the captain walk the plank in the fitting finale. And Piracy offers a genuinely fun and visually appealing experience. Though not the most complex game, it provides hours of enjoyment, particularly if it's in two-player mode. And whether you're a Commodore 64 enthusiast or a retro gaming fan, Piracy deserves a spot in your collection. So let's move on to the next game on the floppy. So let's get ready for a unique twist on the classic breakout formula with the exciting game Krakout. And unlike traditional versions of the game, Krakout shakes up things by placing the bat not at the bottom but at the left or right border of the screen. So let's dive into the details and discover what makes this game stand out. In Krakout, you have complete control over various customizable settings, from the preferred side of the bat to music, sound effects, and even a scrolling background graphic. And you can tailor the game to your liking. And the ball's starting speed can be adjusted from slow motion to lightning fast. With a press of the fire button, you can switch to a second speed for the bat during gameplay. And the game mode menu adds further diversity by allowing you to change the colors of the sprites and unlock special features and effects. Imagine the screen shaking with each ball bounce or pulsating to the rhythm of the music. These immersive features enhance the gameplay experience and keep you engaged throughout. And with a whopping 100 screens to conquer in Krakout, each level presents the challenge of breaking all the stones with a ball while keeping it in play while using your bat. But beware, you'll encounter various intriguing sprites with different effects alongside the bricks and ball. And some friendly sprites grant you extra balls, destroy all stones, or even allow you to skip a few levels. On the other hand, less friendly ones can freeze your bat or swallow the ball, adding an element of unpredictability. And what sets Krakout apart are its tunes, options, and well-executed joystick controls. And the game's music sweeps you away, creating an immersive atmosphere while the joystick operation ensures smooth and precise controls over your bat. And the animation may appear modest, but the game's authentic charm lies in the different alien behavior and their unique challenges. So that's Krakout. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next, we're diving into a vibrant world of retro gaming with a closer look at an intriguing title for the Commodore 64 called Whirly Nerd. So strap in and get ready for some exciting platform action. And Whirly Nerd takes us on a quest to satisfy the hunger of our four nerds, Naples Yurdy, Whoosby Nerd, Hamish Pumpkin, and Melvin Lugby. And they must embark on an adventure across 50 challenging levels, each hiding 4 pieces of food. So let's dive into the details. As you control the nerd, the rules are sharp, allowing precise movements and jumps. You can utilize the rotor blades on the nerd's heads to fly temporarily, giving you an edge in navigating the treacherous landscapes. However, it's not a walk in the park. Each level presents its own set of obstacles and nasties that move in repetitive patterns. You must carefully collect all the objects while avoiding these hazards. And losing a life means losing a precious chance to satisfy your nerd's hunger. Now, let's see what some of the gaming community had to say about this game back in the day. Zap, the magazine, gave it a decent score, 65 out of 100. They admired the game's graphical touches, but felt it lacked enough gameplay to keep the gamers engaged for long. However, they praised the exploratory aspects of the game. Commodore users shared a similar sentiment, but it gave Whirly Nerd a rating of 60%, and they acknowledged that the game may not be groundbreaking. It still offers enjoyable gameplay without warning and harsh criticism. And then the magazine Your Commodore chimed in, also giving it a 60%, and they found it a challenge to play, but noted it didn't really stand out among similar games in its genre. However, they appreciated the features that allowed starting at higher levels so you didn't have to work so hard and you didn't have to keep repeating things over and over again. And there you have it, a glimpse into the whimsical and hunger-fueled adventure of Whirly Nerd. And if you're a fan of platformers and enjoy overcoming challenging, this game might be worth a try. So grab your joystick and embark on this food-finding escapade with your nerd companions. So that wraps up this one. Let's move on to the next game on this floppy. So get ready to put your knowledge and intuition to a test as we explore the exciting world of Card Sharks. And Commodore 64 had two versions of Card Sharks, and I think this one here is the more rare one. If you Google it, you'll find one that was produced that has more animations and so forth. But this one is more basic and has different pictures that pop up. And this is based on the popular television show of the same name. This game brings the thrill of question and answering, guessing to your screen. And let's dive in and see what it's all about. In Card Sharks, you compete against a computer player or challenge a friend in a battle of wits. The game, it revolves around questions asked based on a poll of 100 people, and your task is to guess how many respondents answered yes or no to a given question. And then once you made your guess, your opponent can predict whether the answer is higher or lower than your guess. Then the tension builds as you await the outcome, hoping to outsmart your opponent and gain board control. And if you guess correct, and you'll be taken to card screen, and here you'll play a video version of the classic high-low card game. And the objective is to predict whether the next card in the deck is higher or lower than the one that's currently displayed. And correct guessing keeps you in control, while incorrect guessing shifts the advantage to your opponent. And as you accumulate wins, the stakes get higher, and eventually you'll have the chance to reach the coveted big bucks card screen. And here you can bet all or part of your winnings on a more elaborate high-low board. And it's a high-risk, high-reward situation where fortunes can be made or lost instantly. So whether you're testing your knowledge or challenging a friend, Card Shark offers an engaging and competitive experience, and will you be able to make the correct guesses and dominate the game? The only way to find out is step up and play. So let's move on now to the next game on this floppy. Welcome to the captivating world of Dark Tower, a mystical adventure brought to life by Melbourne House, and prepare for a journey of mystery, challenges, and a touch of mutation. So let's dive in and unveil what this game offers. It's an enchanting adventure. You become Prince Harry, a victim of the Guardian's dark magic, transforming into an unusual green potato-like creature. Your mission is simple: collect the scattered jewels across the tower's 28 rooms and unveil its secrets. And each room presents a unique puzzle guarded by robotic sentinels and other odd objects. And patience and dexterity will be your allies as you overcome these challenges. You ascend ladders, maneuver platforms, swing from ropes with no arms, all to obtain the precious jewels that hold the key to your salvation. Dark Tower offers a range of difficulty levels from accessible to devilishly complex, and mastery of the precise jump moves and actions become crucial as you progress. And it's a genuine test of skill and perseverance. Immerse yourself in this enchanting atmosphere of Dark Tower with its beautiful background score. The carefully crafted music adds to the game's charm, immersing you deeper into the fantasy world. And conquer a space and you'll be rewarded a code letter and your ticket to an exciting competition they had back in the 80s where if you solved the final problem using these letters, and if you're among the first 500, a free game awaited you, a well-earned prize. So a little extra incentive for your quest. While Dark Tower drew its inspiration from its predecessors, it forged its own path, and some reviewers mentioned a lack of originality and addictiveness, and they agreed though that the game was worth exploring. I was just not a fan of this game. I would have given it a D at best. So that's Dark Tower. So that's a wrap. That's everything that's on this floppy that I wanted to share with you. So now it's your turn. I want you to dive into the comments. Tell me what you thought about this video. Please go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. But mostly I want to see your comments. Have you played these games before? Have you even ever heard of them before? Have you even had the original? Maybe you went out and bought one of these games. I don't know. So until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and keep retro gaming.